Hello and welcome to another episode of Odyssey Strength Podcast, joined by yours truly, Giannis Xopoulos and
Jackson Mansudi.
We want to thank you for joining in for another episode. Hopefully we can give you some takeaway tips that can help improve your health and fitness journey, make the whole process a lot easier and more sustainable. If you're interested in coaching, you can reach out to either of us on our Instagrams. I'm Coach Xopoulos_OS.
Coach Jackson Mansudi _OS.
Or you can DM the Instagram page, Odyssey Strength, or find us on the website, odysseystrength.com.au. Let's get into the episode.
I can't hear myself.
You can't?
Really? I can.
I'm just sick in the head.
My subconscious is just blocking it out. I can't hear myself.
Yeah, my voice is just so irritating.
It's a demon to allow that.
Man.
Okay.
All right, well, we've got the boys up from Melbourne, episode 17, Odyssey Strength Podcast. Grounded Strength's back for another one.
I'm back.
And we've got the half of the STC.
The
better half.
The better, no. Just our half.
It's got to be the better half, right? I've got to say, it's not here.
We
It's
can
all right.
restart it.
It's
It's
not
okay.
coming for us. It's not coming.
Mr. Adrian Brown and Jason Galea.
We're here.
Thank you for joining us once again.
Good to be here.
What episode did I come back? Was that
Bro,
episode
you were
one?
like the
Two.
second
yeah.
exercise, yeah.
How's
Nice.
it feel?
I'm refreshed. I'm ready. I've been
we worked
amazing.
out the camera angles this time.
The camera
so
angles, the
it's gonna be a bit
microphone. Yeah, I was getting blocked off before. Now we're feeling connected.
better. So we just spent the whole weekend together, which is
It's been great.
Yeah.
I'm fucking loved
it shows you really what it's about.
Yeah, if this could, we were saying before, if this could be our weekly basis, fuck, life would be good
Hey, you can come closer to me.
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
to have people like this.
Oh, I
around.
don't know how long I'd last in the gym, to be honest.
Hey, I feel like yesterday you were like, I'm tapping out. I'm
Me?
not training. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I had to send the message yesterday.
Yeah.
Had to save.
It's just an easy.
had to-
I had to save the relationship. Like I said to you guys, I was just like, oh, nice to meet you. I was like, oh, okay.
It's just one weekend,
Miss
G.
you there.
It's just one weekend, G.
I've had too much fun. And
Hey,
now-
G, listen to me. It's one weekend.
we're going to skip past that part. She's going to be like, no, I'm not
Many
listening
more
to
to
this.
come. Many more.
Yeah. When I say to her, I'm going down to Melbourne for a week,
Strength camp.
That's it.
strength camp.
That's it.
Yes.
I'm not-
Muscle.
I'm not
muscle
gonna do
strength.
that.
Pump camp.
I'm not going to be let out of your basement. Just get in there with a few more
Hey,
reps.
you missed a good session, but
Don't tell me that, bro.
Yeah.
I watched the stories and I fucking exited out of it straight away. I was like, I'm not watching
Yeah.
shit.
And Ben was
Why would-
like, FOMO. I'm like, yeah.
shouldn't have gone home.
So I had the FOMO last time when you guys were having cigars and kicking back.
Yeah,
That was a good
I
one.
forget pump
What
camp.
an unexpected evening.
That was
It's
amazing.
like,
The
just want to
steak.
go out or you want to come to my house?
Well, yeah. So it was between Bistecca, not Bistecca,
Muscleria,
Muscleria,
yeah.
and my house.
Home cooked meal.
Yeah, fuck. I was like,
Yeah.
I can do this for the same
I
price.
was just way too polite to say I want to come to your house and eat your food. So,
It was like the best meal on the weekend. Like
Yeah, it was
so
pretty good.
it's
hands down.
The best. The steak was insane. The stogies, the banter was good.
He fucking put it on with the
Yeah.
rice too. He put it
Yeah.
on.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Everyone-
even
he's
his
all
mum was
said-
like, "Hey, this rice is really good." I was like, "Hey, you don't cook like this for your parents."
You just don't like basmati rice.
Yeah.
Bro, that's about how you cook it. Fucking whipped it
Yeah.
up, no worries.
What do you put in it?
No, it's just water.
Just cook it with water.
Just cook
bro.
it. It's a bit of an absorption method.
Yeah, but does that stay, the shit thing that rice, it goes like chalky afterwards? Or does
Nah,
that stay moist in the
it's-
fridge?
Yeah, it stays moist.
Yeah, it's-
Sushi rice for me. Is
Nah,
hands down.
I feel like
Sushi rice.
if you can't cook or you can't be fucked, sushi rice is just always
the
gonna
rice
be
cooker.
good.
You can't fuck it up.
Yeah, because it's like eating mashed potato. It's but it's rice. It's fucking
If
great.
you got sensory problems, you're not going to
I stopped
yeah.
cooking rice.
Yeah.
I just buy the packets now.
Yeah, I
The,
said
the 90-second packets is just I'm paying for convenience, but it's worth it.
they're very good.
Yeah, it's not as anabolic, man. Like, you got to have the rice cooker. I'm like, it's all part of it.
I've
It's-
broken two of
You
mine.
got to live the lifestyle, man.
It's a Machiavelli motivational
That's
video
it.
when you're making it. You're just
Yeah,
like,
you're
you
using the little spatula, you got your fucking chicken, and you're just fucking scooping it into the bowl. You know,
With your
get
mattress in the
barbecue sauce.
Yeah, my mom's like, oh, he loves barbecue sauce. I was like, yeah, because he can't fucking eat anything else.
That's it.
That's all you can have.
Yeah, I'm on the sugar-free one, so it's even better, even worse. It's like barbecue water.
That's that's not on. That's not right. Well, you had some questions for Jason to start things off. Do you have those questions on you?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe I'll let everyone know who the fuck I am.
Nah, don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone-
no,
everyone-
bro,
Bro, everyone knows who you are. I talk about you every
Okay,
weekend.
because
That's
I'm like,
the problem.
I'm like,
He
no
hasn't-
one's introduced No one's introduced. It's like, hey, we got Jason here. Like, as long as they know who the fuck I am.
Oh, well, we'll do it anyway.
You
Jason,
can do a little spiel.
Jason, yeah.
That just shows you don't listen to the podcast.
Oh, I've got my own fucking shit to deal with.
You're like, listen to my own.
Boys, I'm spread thin. I'll spread thin. So training you three and fucking everyone else. It's like, I can't listen to everyone's podcast.
Every check-in's a podcast.
Do you want to introduce
Alright, so yeah, obviously my name's Jace. I coach the boys. I'm a physique coach. I work online now. I was a face-to-face personal trainer. I've done that for like,
a long time.
I've been training people for like 15 years. Obviously, like to train myself. I'm into bodybuilding. Run a personal development program for personal trainers as well. So now it's about leveraging my own experience and knowledge and helping other people like the boys, you know, make a good career in fitness, creating opportunities and stuff for them. But I'm a fucking meathead at heart. Love bodybuilding. Love living the lifestyle. Terrible bodybuilder myself, genetically, but I fucking love it.
That's all that matters, eh?
Love getting a pump. Love working out.
Well,
Love the science of bodybuilding.
You have to love it, or else you just won't keep doing it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it.
regardless of the
Yeah.
outcome, if you enjoy the whole
Yeah.
lifestyle and the routine and everything, you're
that's-
just going to push for it.
That's it.
Which
Yeah.
makes it mad, which is really good. Which I think what I enjoy about bodybuilding is it's like no matter the outcome, just the routine and the everything, posing and fucking just getting huge. It's mad.
Yeah, I love it.
It's
I
mad.
love it.
It's mad.
Yesterday,
Eating rice out of the rice cooker.
That's
not
it.
cooking it in the fucking microwave bag.
fucking smoking stogies and practicing their dance routines.
That's it.
Oh yeah. We were on.
Yeah, I
that.
feel like I've learned a lot about you this week.
Once the Greek moonshine hit the veins,
Oh.
mate, I was a fucking different human.
I was glowing after
My
that.
dad's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, well, just wait here, I'll be back. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck.
I knew it was. I was like, I knew the course of the night. I knew how it was going to go down before. I was like, mate, my wife's Italian. Every time I go for lunch,
This is
you
nothing.
get fed, and then the alcohol comes out. And then it's about showing you all of the alcohol that you have. and then
Smart.
making sure you don't leave hungry and sober.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah, as soon as I dragged my feet in after the gym, he's like, "Well, we're going for a walk." It was just like, "No, would you like to go for a walk?" It's just like going for a walk.
It's the best.
You're in my
Wait,
house.
so you just went for a walk with your dad?
Yeah,
I wasn't home.
Just talking shit. It was mad. It was really good.
I was at Joe's place and I rang and I was like, where's Dad and Adrian? They're like, oh, his mum's like, they're walking. I said, right. So it wasn't consensual. It was just like, we're walking now because you're in my house.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk alone.
Even though he's like, I'll barbecue, and he's just like, gets up, he's like, right, come with me.
Show you where the drinks are.
Yeah. It's good.
Really, it was fun, yeah.
I did have a bit of FOMO, but bro, I was so sore in bed.
3 beers, couple of scotches,
And then-
digestives, we had gin and tonic, we had that Tilporo.
How good?
What was
How
the-
fucking
what was
good
the really
digestives
sweet one?
are
That
they?
was really nice.
That was
one?
the Montenegro.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh, Myra
That-
Montenegro.
Yeah, so that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start with the Peroni, just
Yeah.
line the stomach.
Yeah.
Pranis were good.
And then you go to the Amaros after the dinner.
Yeah.
Then you get a little bit of Tiporo, moonshine.
Yeah.
And then he goes, hang on, I'll be back with the Glenmorangie, the scotch.
He brings out, he's like, hey, have you had this? Is Jägermeister? I was like, yeah, mate. I was like, are we going out, bro? I was like, where we going?
He was just waiting.
It's like,
He's
if
wanted
I-
someone to say yes, so he
Yeah.
just started down and
You ever had a drop of that, I'd be like, oh, what are we doing?
Did your dad go out?
like,
Like when he was younger?
oh, bro.
Oh, bro, are you serious? You can just tell he's an absolute fucking animal.
But back then, bro, you gotta remember there's no rules. Like they go out and they don't come back for
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might come back, might not. We'll see what happens.
If I die, if one of my mates dies, it's alright, I'll get on.
I got plenty of friends.
Just fucking replace him. Just keep
Oh,
going.
yeah.
It's just a well-oiled machine. He's up at like 6 a.m. and he's like, "Good to see you, mate." And he's- nothing had hit him at all.
So much energy.
Did he drink as well?
Yeah.
Bro, it went 1 for 1 with us.
Yeah.
Maybe not the BA, he was just kind of sitting on that. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, what's going on here?
He's the one pouring, so he's gonna be a responsible service of alcohol.
Like, he was telling us all these stories, so I was like, that beer's warm, but you're telling lots of funny stories, so I'm willing to let it slide.
You can be one behind it.
Yeah. And then, like 11:30, he's just like, do you want a coffee? I was like, fuck no.
That's the last thing I want.
Straight to bed.
Yeah.
We dropped him home, we got back, and he's still awake. On the couch, like, oh, you guys are back.
Like, what's he playing? Candy Crush.
Yeah, he's,
That's a symptom of the espresso at 11:30.
he's number one in the world. They don't have any more levels for him to do. They have to fucking. You know, like
Does he
this-
send him emails and shit?
Oh my god.
There was one point like they had said we're going to stop the app. Like we're gonna not
Oh,
make any
yeah.
more new levels.
It's
He was
over.
like, "I fucking no way. It's just I can't do this." And I think they
Oh my God.
if they see enough active users, they're like, "Oh, we'll make a few more.
Yeah.
We'll give them 100 more. Just tease them a little bit more."
That's crazy.
Do you guys play games on your phones?
No.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I got through. What was that? The really cracked one? Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird.
The guy sold it for like $1 billion or something.
Oh, did he?
It's nuts.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, and it was like I think it was like an 18-year-old programmer, and it just like blew up on the App Store and then just took it down and just walked away.
I feel like
with cash.
gaming apps have like crashed though. They're like were a thing and now.
$1 billion industry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is it? Wait, it's still like.
Yeah.
Really?
it's massive overseas. It's not so big here.
I don't look at my phone as a way to play games.
Yeah,
I
it's
used
bigger.
to
It's
all the
bigger
time,
than.
bro, all the time.
I used to play Parking Mania.
I used to
Yeah.
crank them.
It's
But then
bigger.
I was
It's
like,
bigger than normal gaming.
I'm not
Really?
productive.
Did you we're fucking showing our age here. Do you remember the science calculator? You used to play
yeah.
Weed Farmer?
Oh yeah. My mate, it's always like my mate. He's like worked out how to program it and put all the games and shit on like Snake and all these sort of
Yeah.
stuff. And math guy just like
Yeah,
playing.
we used to have these like calculators that were like massive, fucking huge.
The scientific ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we used to just play games on them.
Yeah.
How could you get games on?
That you can put like ROMs on them. They were worked out program
Yeah,
on
they're
them.
like scripts.
Fuck.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. I didn't do maths in high school, honestly, at all. Like, yeah. But yeah, here we are. I made it.
We made it.
Yeah.
All the way through.
I think.
Maybe.
No, we did. That's okay.
Here on the Grounded Strength podcast, I made it.
Ground strength.
Honestly.
I mean, we can put both together.
Yeah,
It's all right,
well,
Tam,
that's-
you can cut that bit out.
Hey, Tam, do me a favour, please.
Hey, what do you mean? He's got our contracts ready.
Yeah, you can pay for this one if you want. Like, this could be your first episode. If you
That's
want
it.
to.
It's been, I've just been roped into it. It's like, hey, well, this is turning out to be.
Send him the invoice.
It's either that or he's standing out there, yeah, like just sitting
That's-
there.
Send him-
staring
send
through the
him
window.
invoice.
That's right, I will.
Oh fuck, good stuff. So I'll do a recap of the training weekend, I reckon first. So
Well, I didn't train all week until we got to.
yeah, you had the week off.
Yeah, because I was like, I knew what was coming up. So
I'm a bit of a pussy, so I could train all week. It's a mental thing. I couldn't.
You trained and then,
I couldn't.
I just worked out every day.
well,
You guys,
Yeah, because I thought we organised in the group chat. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to hit legs Friday, and then I think it was Thursday. I'm like, Jason's hitting legs. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
look, you guys had it all planned out, and I just said I'm going to go with the flow, and then I just selfishly just trained on my own schedule.
Yeah.
You were
And
like, fuck these guys.
as soon as we landed in Sydney, and everyone was like, "Oh, what are we training?" I'm like, "I'm doing my training split, and you guys are more than welcome to train with me, but I'm not compromising for anybody."
Just looking at your silhouette from your calf session. So that's legs for me.
Yeah, I was just really not paying attention while I was just watching myself doing calf raises, just looking at my lats. Like, yeah, I'll do whatever. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
yeah, because I saw Kayla, you messaged Kayla, and
Yeah.
you were like, the boys think we're all training together all weekend, so let me know if you want to train.
Yeah, well, I was like, I kind of felt bad. I was like, I want to make sure if there's anything that anyone wants to
Needs,
work
yeah.
on, it's like you just get that real time feedback, that instant feedback. So
Yeah.
if you can, and I was, I was like, I better do that just to ensure that everyone.
Yeah, so we trained legs on Friday.
Yeah, still sore.
That was hard, man.
It's a good one.
That was really hard.
So there's leg extension there.
Yeah, just vibrating.
Electric chair,
moaning
leg
on
extension.
The last rep, Giannis is helping me, and I'm just moaning on the.
I
I was
actually.
shoulder pressing that
Yeah.
last rep. I was like, it's not fucking moving.
It's
You
so
got
vibrating.
you got to push.
I don't actually remember what we trained when. I don't even know what day it is.
You did
guys
you did push or something, didn't you?
I know. I feel like I've had 8 hours sleep the last 2 days.
Yeah.
We did delts.
So.
We did shoulders
I've trained
and
push
tries.
like twice in like 3 days. It's
We
just
did
just
shoulders and tries.
typical like meathead. Let's just train chest, man.
We're training push.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
And
Do
we're
you
training
find
push today as well.
How was
Just
your
last Monday.
training session with Jess when you did pull? Because we all trained together. and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
went with Jess.
she's strong. She's strong.
Jess is jacked.
Got to
Yeah,
mention on
she's-
this podcast too, Jess.
Yeah, she's very strong. And she just fucking goes. Ben, like her and Ben, are exactly the same. They just go. Even when it doesn't move, it's just like
Yeah,
You
fuck
gotta,
Ben.
you gotta learn that. You gotta learn
Ben's
how to do
very
that.
strong. Very, very strong. When I was
he's
watching him
farm
train-
strong. Now he's farm strong and now he's dad strong. So I gave him combine the if you're farm dad strong. That's it.
He's
You-
just
you-
fucking unstoppable.
There's
man.
nothing more for you, bro. Like it's natural capacity limit
Caps.
done.
Yeah.
Farm boy strength is different. Like my dad trained when he was like our age, but doesn't train anymore. But he's just the retention of strength into his 70s. He's still just lifting shit like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre because if you grow up lifting hay bales and like dodging fucking cattle charging you. You just like feel fucking different.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
How much does a hay bale weigh?
Depends.
Yeah.
You know, they got the round ones and the square ones, but I mean, like he's just doing reps. Like he'd be throwing that up like 2 stories.
That's fine. I was looking at like
We just lift controlled rubber circles.
That's right.
And we feel like
calibrated
It's like,
plates.
oh, that's enough. I don't need any more.
tired today.
And then still hate yourself.
That's it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're like a 16-hour shift, and they're just like, yeah, keep going.
Too tired, might not train today.
Yeah. Who was the first person to sort of teach you to train at a high intensity?
Oh, so can I talk about anything on this podcast?
Talk whatever you want.
Yeah, okay. So I had a mate, and we started PT at the same time. He wasn't my mate; he just befriended me once we become trainers. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know him before we started at the gym, and then he kind of like took me under his wing, and we used to train. I didn't know that this dude was just running like everything, and so like I remember like training with him, and I was just like processing in my head. I'm just like, how the fuck can this guy lift more than me? Like how can he outwork me? Why is he always just like fresh at the end of the session? I had no idea. So I obviously didn't want to be the person not lifting all of the weight and not being fresh at the end of the workout. So I used to try and hang with this dude like all the time. And then a couple of years later, I was like started putting the pieces together, right? But it was good because I was trying to hang with someone who fucking obviously could throw down. And then after that, I don't know. I don't really like. The hardest thing has always been like getting into environments where you are being pushed. But I think if like the most important thing is always asking the question to yourself. It's like, can I go more? Can I try and push harder, whatever? And then when Ben came along, we started training together. Obviously, like Ben and I are really competitive, and we're competitive with each other, and it's fine. Like we're okay with it because it's healthy competition. So when we train and shit, I'm just like, I'm fucking eat you for breakfast. Like it doesn't matter what it is, and he's the same. I know he is, and we just kind of go chip, and even when we train, it's the same. So I think like outside of there's no like I didn't go to like a seminar or anything like that where someone's like, hey, like muscle camps and we fucking train and shit. Like most of those things are like technique based. But I think finding people that just like kind of can match your energy and stuff. And then just knowing that like progressive overload isn't a style of training, it's a fucking principle.
Yeah.
So it's like you've got to fucking come and bring the sauce.
It's a bad style.
I only just started using it. So you just got to come and bring the sauce every week, and just fucking always try and push the boundaries.
Yeah, I think it was with my first coach, Jack Nicolopoulos, and it was just mental sessions. Like his leg session, you're doing force reps on the leg extension, I was vomiting out of his window. Like it was, and that has like stuck with me to like all aspects of the training, like how hard you push into like powerlifting, and then with hypertrophy and stuff. Like that's why I asked you, because it's like for me, like that taught, like I trained with mates, and it's just like wasn't the same. But then you're not finding that person that really pushes you to your limit. It's just, I think, the next point with training, like you two guys, like when you guys train, it's on because you're both competitive in your business, and then with everything else. But like that's hard to match with like anyone else. It feels like you're just doing a PT session sometimes with your mate.
Yeah, you've got to pick the right person. You can't, like I'm not rocking up with someone who like is on and off on the gym every couple of weeks and is just tagging along to get a session with you. You pick it up proper. It's called. I think that's the difference between just working out with someone and a training partner.
Yeah,
training partner is someone who's gonna meet you at your level, push you beyond your physical limits at the time, and you have like a mutually beneficial relationship where if someone's training with you to occupy your time, like there's not a lot of benefit for me outside of just like getting some company during the session.
It's like what you said yesterday. It's like it's not about the amount of weight each person's moving. It's just showing up. It's just putting the intensity.
It's fucking putting the work in.
Yeah, putting the work in. Because like as we've said, like you and I have very different strength levels, and when we train, it's like it's still we're pushing.
Bro, I walk away cooked.
Yeah,
it's fine.
You can't you can't compare it to just training by yourself. Like it's good. Like you can still train hard relative, obviously. But then like if we do a leg session, I'm just like, oh fuck, here we go.
But you're creating your own environment. I feel like it's like your own atmosphere inside a circle. So it's like when we were training yesterday, it's like I wasn't thinking about the gym.
Yeah,
like, I didn't give a fuck. It's just like that's our own atmosphere that we're creating. I know you were saying like it's a bit hard when you're training by yourself when it's an empty gym.
Yeah.
It's like instead of feeling that, you're just creating it yourself.
Yeah. That's cool. I never really thought about that like that, but yeah, it's the same because as soon as you said that, like no one else in the gym existed. It was just like just us three, and we're just going as hard as
Yeah,
possible.
the fuck didn't give a fuck about what anyone else
Yeah.
was saying, looking, doing. It's just like we're doing our own thing and we're trying to get after it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to get to a certain, like a really high level just training by yourself?
No, like I think the older I get, I think in general with most things, it's like, it's more of an ego thing in most instances than anything else. Like the older I am now, it's just like if I was to do it again, and I tell you guys all the time, I'm just like, you're leveraging other people to accelerate anything, whether it's training, business, whatever. I think that any person that does that puts themselves in a way better position than the person that just wants to do it by themselves. Like,
Yeah.
I've always been that person, and it's definitely something if I reflected back on, I would change. So I think that like the best, you look at the best of anything, it's like they've got like all of these people around them. The best athletes in the world, best businessmen, like, leaders of nations and whatnot. They've all got people around them helping them run, lead, make decisions, win, lose, all of those things. So I know what it's like to be young and wanting to try and figure it out yourself, especially if you got a chip on your shoulder and you have a bit of an ego. But it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you got to accept that there's a lot of time and a lot of L's that you take, and a lot of time to get back, to where you need to be when you fall down, that you probably could have leveraged with somebody else. And it's still in most instances, it's just all about ego. So it's like you take the ego away. It's like you just go, hey, I need help, and it's like, cool. Well, here's all my fuck ups.
Yeah, learn off those.
Yeah, you will probably still make them, but this is how I bounced back from them, and you can leverage that experience much faster than I did, which you guys are a really big example of that.
Yeah.
Did you do when you first competed, or did you do it by yourself?
I got pretty lean like 3 or 4 times just to try and figure it out.
You said at the time you weren't counting calories or anything, eh?
Nah, so I tried to do it with like multiple methods because this was trying to prove a point. Like, even training methods, like what you were talking about, like the drop sets and that with Jake. And, people now are just like, oh, they're all stupid and shit. I was just playing around with training protocols just to see what kind of stuck and what didn't. We didn't obviously have the research available now. Like, I was printing out, things on a printer. There was like inkjet, fucking one row at a time.
Yeah,
and
it's
fucking dial-up internet. No one could call your house and shit.
It's
So we didn't really...
T-Nation and bodybuilding.com.
Yeah, we didn't have access to information like you do now on your phone.
Yeah.
So we were just like throwing shit at the wall and just seeing what sticks. But it was just all trial and error. So even with the diet and stuff, it's like we didn't have the information. It's like, fucking, thermodynamics was still around, of course. And it's like energy balance existed then. But we didn't have all of this information knowing what is in everything. It was just like, this is how much is in chicken. This is how much is in rice. We didn't know about other foods, so we just didn't eat them.
Right.
And then it was like, okay, well, if I want to get in shape, just eat less. So I didn't have to really like kind of weigh and measure and all that kind of stuff. So, and then, I obviously wanted to take things more seriously. So things became more refined, managing training volume, managing, my macros and, managing my total calories and all that stuff. And then it's like the results just got better and better and better and better, but even training wise, it's like tried so many things to see what worked. And I think that's a good thing, just, learning how to work hard. It's like, people sit there and be like, oh, but if you just do straight sets, it's like, it's the same if the volume's matched, with the hypertrophy because, I'm fucking PubMed, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it is, but it's like, you don't learn how to train hard like that.
Yeah.
It's the forced negatives, it's the drop sets, it's the fucking, wanting to fucking top yourself. When
Giant sets, triple
You've
drop
got
sets.
3 more, it's like you do a giant set on legs, like 4 quad exercises in a row. It's like that'll fucking show you whether you have it or not. So it's like, that's not the best way to do it, but it might be the best way to help you find that fucking dog in you that you need.
Just a learning tool.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I feel like teaching intensity can be one of the harder things.
Yeah. It's easier as a face-to-face coach.
Yeah, heaps easier.
Yeah, because you just like put them in a safe environment and you just like one more.
Leg
one
extensions
more,
are the
one
best.
more. Yeah.
You do rest pause
Yeah.
and you go, keep going.
Leg extensions,
and it's like
push-ups,
40 reps.
like
Push-ups are nice.
inverted rows. Just like go until you can't go anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, see that feeling? We need to match that feeling
On everything.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Outside of obviously, compromising positions that are dangerous, like, heavy squatting and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, I think that's what, like I said, what Jake taught me. Like,
Yeah.
he trains like an animal all the time.
Yeah.
And, we would go from, it was like a rest pause sets. So he would do warm-ups, feeder sets until we get to a point where you're failing at, say, 8 or 10. and then the sets begin.
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing 7 sets before you even start.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just different. It's just
And it worked.
Yeah. You know, he was coached by Lee Priest, and so the intensity was just insane.
Yeah.
And that's just what stuck with me. And like that's, I'm not going to like throw my clients under the bus with that, but it's like I show them where you need to be to actually, because I think people have a preconceived idea that it's really quite easy to build muscle, when in reality it's like you need so much actual work for it.
Yeah. Look at the conversation we had yesterday.
Oh yeah. It's easy for people who it's easy for.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking this monster, and he's just like, getting big is easy. It's like, it's the diet that's hard. I'm like, this dude's just filling up so much real estate. I was like, easy for you. It's like, I wish I could say that.
Must be nice.
It must be nice. Yeah.
What was the experience like for your first show when you did a bodybuilding show?
The day was amazing. The process was awful.
Was that just because of the methods? Or?
So back then, again, it was like, if you got an online coach, it was like you never met them, you could never see them. It was just all by email, like, it was word of mouth kind of type shit. So, and the service was just absolutely rubbish. Programs like kind of emailed to you, like just, this is the program, like these are the exercises, just written out on the actual email. No, on the email.
So on the page.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, no check-in
Process
procedure. Yeah, just like nothing. It's like, here's your diet. Again, also emailed.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a really awful process from that perspective. But like in hindsight, I should have taken ownership and like been like, hey, this is shit, and just moved on sooner. But I didn't. So it's a lesson learned, and didn't want to have that awkward conversation to be like, hey, what the fuck's going on? And then just had like a couple of personal tragedies happen in my family. I went to like 3 funerals 2 funerals in the last 2 weeks of my prep. I spent like countless weeks in hospital, bringing my 6-pack bag and fucking leaving it and going to the gym at like 8 p.m. and doing my training, my cardio and all that kind of shit. So I was just like...
You're already in a fragile state.
Yeah. So having to show up like that when your granddad's fucking dying, it's like... So I just like... The whole thing just didn't sit well. Like, I was just like, fuck. But it's okay. Like, it didn't stop me or anything. Like, I had a great day. It did really well. And then I kind of just trained like I always do, which is just for me. And I've gotten in really, really good shape. I've prepped fucking countless people now. And I still feel like I could do it one more time, but it's just, again, self-serving ego thing. It's got nothing to do with like a new system or learning like a new method. It's like, I know what to do. I might just want to do like, maybe like when I'm 40 or something like that, just do that. You can look like this. You can fucking operate this way.
It's gonna be the dark horse.
Yeah, just can be
it's real grainy, like old man.
Yeah, that's it. I'm waiting for the what's the mature muscle?
Maturity,
the separation. I might be waiting a fucking bit of time.
Yeah,
I've been doing this for 20 years and still waiting.
How was your mentality after your show? Because I know after my one, I didn't train for 2 years.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was
like proper no training.
So there was I say no training, but it was nothing effective.
Yeah. Okay.
After the show, I was training at Doherty City at the time, and I went in like, I think it was like a week later, and I was like, what am I? What is this?
Yeah.
What am I doing? And so that's why I asked you the question, because like it was just to stop. I had no interest.
Yeah, I think because I was a PT, like I fucking love fitness. You guys, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with training. I'm obsessed with bodybuilding. I'm obsessed with all of it. Right? I could fucking do it for the rest of my life and never work in fitness ever again. So obviously training wise, like I thought it was going to be that extension of my business that was just going to kick off. I was going to fucking compete and fucking everything was just going to
Explode.
It did the complete opposite. I spent 6 months just being selfish, not doing anything else but eat, sleep, and train. Nothing went anywhere. And then when I did finish, all the people that asked me about it weren't prepared to go and do it. So I was like, this is actually not what I wanted it to be. It's probably a little bit different now because you can market yourself differently. You've got social media,
Different
whatever.
times, yeah.
But all we did at the time was just we had the people in our gym and we were marketing ourselves, and that's what you do when you're a PT walking into a club, right? Like if you look the part, like the people in the area are immediately attracted to the way you look. So, but I just worked at a fucking big box gym, Good Life, that had people who needed their handheld to go to the gym. So I wasn't going to get the clients that I wanted. So I think that knowing that, being a PT, and then just understanding like afterwards was going to be, hard. You've got another goal. You've got to set this. Once you've achieved this one, you need something down the path. That was what got me back into the gym. That's what got me back in the gym the next day, because I had the plan ready. It's like, I got to recover from this diet, which everyone needs to do when they lose an exceptional amount of body weight or body fat. And then after that, I need to set new goals, which was to the same goal I've had ever since I picked up a weight, which is to be as fucking big and strong and fucking jacked and shredded as I can. So
thinking back to your experience compared to Jason's on that show day, how was that for you?
As far as the show day itself,
Yeah.
it was amazing. My coach would come in, he was rubbing tan in between my butt cheeks. It was,
good
it's
time.
just tan chicks and dudes everywhere. It's really fun.
It's a whole bunch of muscle.
Because after that point, the work's all been done. You just got to somewhat switch off and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I did my posing routine. I was so fucking nervous, but the way that the thing was set up, you go out and you just see two lights like this. You didn't see the crowd.
Yeah.
So
washes out.
Yeah.
So the lights are so bright, you can't. It's like you can't see 2
Can't
feet,
see faces
2
and
meters
stuff,
in front of you.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to see them if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Right.
You can kind of choose.
And then, from that point, I think afterwards I was pretty G'd up, and I actually went and did another show, and that was down in Tassie, and I was meant to go with a friend, and he bailed out last minute, and so when I arrived, I didn't have a lift to the hotel, and so I'm just standing in the airport, and then this other bodybuilder came up to me and goes, "Oh, hey, are you..." I forget what his name was. I should pretty remember his name. But anyway, he gave me a lift to the hotel with his partner, and so it was just me by myself doing this show. And what actually happened was, the way the timing went, so I had a flight to catch at, I forget what time, but the show was running behind, and so I wasn't going to be able to get my flight and then step on stage, but I hadn't even booked a return flight. So I was literally I had no fucking idea what I was doing, because I'd finished the first show, and then Graham Lansfield came up to me, he's like,
Yeah.
come to the second one.
Of course.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
They're like,
Pay
Yeah.
the other registration fees.
What was the registration fee cost you back then?
Oh, I can't remember now.
It's only
a couple $100?
Yeah, something like that.
I didn't. It's not the same as now, where you have your membership and then you got to register for each category.
Right.
I think we could just register as a member and just pick. I think it was
Gotcha, okay.
two or three categories we could do, and then we had to pay more after that.
Yeah.
Something like
I mean,
that.
it was, but were you ever competed in NABBA, or was it just IFBB?
No. I competed. I competed naturally.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I made the silly choice of competing naturally.
Yeah. So I was natty in an unnatty show, because the natty shows, they didn't do the posing routine.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
wanted the
yeah,
full.
we,
I wanted
that's right. We
the,
spoke about that.
I wanted the full
but
experience.
they did. I think they do an A and B, but you have to select whether you want to do it or not.
Oh, yeah, you can listen to that in episode 2.
That's right. Go back.
Yeah.
Hear all about it. But yeah. Anyway, so after the second show, the flight. I forget what happened, but someone else had finished, and they had someone who didn't rock up to their return flight. So I pretended to be someone else to
fly home.
To get home.
Oh my god.
And then my mate picked me up from the airport, and we went and got burgers.
So when was that? Was that 10 years ago or something?
2014. So that's why.
It's 10 years ago, you could just pretend to be someone else and just fly fucking interstate.
Yeah.
That's great. You could never.
So
do that
I forget
now.
what my name was, but they're like, "Oh, yep," and then
There's not a chance that
they
would
checked
fly.
nothing. Just hopped
Wow.
on
That
the
is
plane
hilarious.
home.
And so what federation did you?
I competed in A and B.
Oh, you did A&B.
Yeah,
Okay.
natural.
Wild round.
Natural bodybuilding, guys.
And did
Is
you
it?
win? Did you win?
No, I came fourth out of 27 people.
How'd you go?
I came 6 out of 6. So top 6. Yeah,
Yeah,
top 6.
I just wanted
that's
to, I
all
wanted to
criminals
place, but I,
deserve.
didn't, I had no business placing.
Oh,
I just could
okay.
pose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
the
that's-
guys that were they were way more conditioned than
You
me.
sure?
Yeah.
Nah.
How old were
It's
you?
funny. You think you were. You weren't.
No.
Once you get more shredded, your first.
And there
shot's
was
like,
no-
That's cute. It's
Well,
like, I could see. I had abs. It's like no lines in the legs. Nothing. Like it's just like. Yeah, at the time, but I was like, fuck, I would
You're-
just walk around with no clothes on.
Your beach shredded.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of like, and I was just so skinny,
I feel like you're one or the other though. You're like, I'm not lean enough, or I'm super lean.
I hate
and you're
myself.
Not. Yeah.
That's all the time.
Nothing in between.
No. But yeah, sorry, what was the question? How lean, was I lean?
Yeah, how lean were you?
Oh, I don't know. It's
There's no scan back
Yeah.
then. It was like
the
just
first shows,
calendars.
the first show was always going to be, just test the waters and how I went. Yeah, I had no business placing, but if you prepare your pose, you present yourself. you know your angles.
Illusions.
Know your angles, know all that stuff. It's like, it's a game of
And there was,
presentation at the end of the day.
what categories? Because there was no, like, classic physique.
No, we just did
wasn't a
weight.
thing.
We just did weight.
Oh,
Just weight,
okay.
So just go in and just like, I think I was like under 75 or something. So small, man.
It's mad, yeah.
So tiny.
Fuck.
I think I was
I'm small
72.
Yeah, actually, I'll try and find you just the photo. After this, obviously, I'll show
How old
the
were
photo.
you?
24, 23.
Fuck.
Don't know. It was
We
young.
probably competed at like the same time,
Probably.
without even knowing.
See, it's ships in the night.
That's it.
And now look at you.
Now.
Felt something.
Yeah.
That flight you called was actually Jason's.
That's right. Yeah.
Bro,
That's
I can't believe
fantastic.
that happened. You're actually a criminal.
Yeah, well, the thing, yeah,
I'll call
I know.
the cops.
That's right. That's right. My point. But yeah, I think it's just set me up for knowing that you send yourself into something that's going to work out. Like,
And if I rock up, they're gonna let me on that plane.
no, but yeah, just like in general, like nothing really bad happened. Like if it didn't happen, I just have to pay for another flight
Yeah.
and you come home. But in the moment, you're like, oh my god, I'm never going to fucking make it home. I'm stuck in Tasmania forever as like a tan, skinny bodybuilder. It's the worst nightmare.
And now you're making a, 10-year redemption?
10-year
It'll
redemption.
be 10 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So what? Next October.
Next October.
That's right.
We do
Plan in
it.
place. So what's it now? So right now, you're not dieting at the moment.
Speak
You've
for the
had
boss.
You've had a fucked weekend.
Yeah,
we
I felt
had a
like
diet break at the start of the diet.
Isn't that how it works? Isn't that how society?
Look, it's just it was mental health week,
that's it.
No, of course.
That's it.
With the stogies and the whiskey, spur me on for after the show now, which
Yeah.
is good. Get the Arnold.
We'll just-
Adrian is numero uno shot.
I'm gonna bring my dad to your show. He's gonna be like, Adrian, you want to cook
The
smoke?
Sergio Oliva pose with the stogie now. It's like
That's
that's
it.
ours.
Keen, really keen.
So how many more weeks of dieting?
We got it's not even.
It's not even a number. It's just until you feel.
Nah, there's probably I put a 6 to 8 week window. We'll just see because it's it all comes down to tolerance.
Right. So how far
Yeah.
can you push it?
Yeah, well, you don't want to spend because we're in off season and we're not pre-contest is so far away. I don't want to spend a lot of time not making progress. But the thing is, there just becomes a point in your mass phase where the extra weight that you're adding, the ratio of good tissue to non-contractile tissue is probably just not where it should be. You're just putting on too much body fat and not enough muscle mass. And then the other things that people don't consider are digestion, diet fatigue, willingness to eat 500, 600, 700 grams of carbs a day, all of those things. So you're like, okay, well, let's dial it back for a little bit. Let's get all of those things in check. Let's look after the body because it's actually really unhealthy to eat fucking 6 meals a day that are fucking 400 grams or 500 grams in size each. And then let's capitalize by reducing some body fat, increasing cardiovascular health. That's never going to be a thing that's going to be a detriment to someone. And then we push again, push the body weight back up. And even then, you're probably only going to lose 3 or 4 kilos.
Yeah.
And it's cool, condition yourself now to take on another 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's the back pumps and the fucking, I can't move and I can't train hard because I'm gassed and stuff. You're managing it, right? You're preparing, right? You don't avoid it, you prepare for it.
Yeah.
So so we're just going to do that for a period. Bring the body fat down. It's obviously nice when you're a bit leaner and you see the muscle tissue. You're like, fuck, hey, it's actually working.
Sort of like, hey, wow, I really just don't have any.
And then I've got it all mapped out. I've got it mapped out to the show. So it's
Oh.
He's got the black book.
I'll periodize everything. Everything.
Yeah.
When you got an end point, when you have a goal date, which contest prep is always you can't ring them and be like, hey bro, move the show.
Oh shit. Move
So
it.
you just everything is blocked back from that. So it's cool, we do a 20, maybe 24 week pre-contest period. The only things are the variables inside it. How much weight do we need to lose? What's the rate of loss per week? How much protein are we going to have? Cardio, blah, 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 blah. When are we going to play these cards and what's going to happen at what time? Can't have that. But it's cool, most people, longer the prep, the easier it's going to be for them usually. And then we can hold on to more muscle tissue with an extended prep and you can have more diet breaks and things in between that. So you've got more cards to play. If you rush it, it's cool, you just got to fucking do some stupid shit. And,
When I was doing my diet, on the
The photo
spreadsheet.
shoot one.
Yeah. I knew how many diet breaks I was having. And then that would obviously just change based on the feedback.
yeah, and
So
what works well. Works well.
Yeah, and it was great because I was like, yeah, Matt, just got to get through this.
Correct.
And then diet break. Got to get through this block and diet break. And then Sometimes you gave me like even more diet breaks because it was good.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. And it's like, yeah, maybe the next time there won't be as many. Got to bring them in soft sometimes, you know. But sometimes like you need to communicate that so that because it's not just a physical game, it's a mental one, right? And then for coaches, it's like, oh, how can we get the best out of the athlete? So knowing that you've got to go through hell to come out the other side with something really short, small, and rewarding is probably enough for people like us, high functioning, people who are in bodybuilding. It's like, all right, I'm going to go through hell for the next 8 weeks to get shredded, and then I have a week where the food's going to go up, and I'm going to, just resensitize and fucking chill the fuck out mentally and fill up with glycogen and all that kind of shit again, and then I'm going to go again. So some people work that way, but then some people you need to do it over a week. So it's like, okay, cool. Let's make Monday to Thursday fucking hell on earth, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday is not, And then sometimes we use both.
Yeah.
So it's like 8 weeks of usually when you got more to lose, like it's not food doesn't go up. Right? You don't burn more eating more, right? Like it just doesn't make sense that way. So you do that, and then you've got all these tools to play with at the right time, but the block and the theme or the goal of that period of time is always planned. And you always know what you're working with in terms of time. Yeah,
because I like, as much as when you were doing your photo shoot, I was like, fuck, this guy's miserable. But then you were like, somehow you still just kept doing it. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, because you're getting results.
Yeah, bro, it's the most validating thing in the world.
When we did that cut before Europe, I was like, I know why he did it. I was like, this is fucking mad.
Yeah. That's it. When you work hard and like you put the muscle on.
Yeah.
It's like that's the way you're gonna see it the best. So it's not fucking easy, but it's not supposed to be. Because if it was, we'd all be walking around. Every single fucking person would be walking around absolutely henched.
A question for
That's
you.
a world I want to live in.
I agree. Me too. I'm trying to make it happen. I'm just gonna exist. My world exists in this room.
That's it.
You said after your show you did it for business as well, and you were getting people who thought that it was. Did you get people who like wanted to compete but didn't realize what they were eating for?
Well, like everyone obviously saw the process, right? And even like when I used to just get massive and get shredded in the gym, and they'd be like, "Oh, I feel like you've done that really quickly." I'm like, "I've been dieting for like fucking 20 weeks, but cool, whatever." Seems like
you just saw me on Tuesday training.
Yeah, seemed like I must have just done something special.
Well, I haven't been to the gym for 20 weeks. That's all.
So they're just like, the last time I saw you were this size, But you were just getting people who saw the end product. It's no different to like. You see your favorite fitness, kind of influencer or your bodybuilder or whatever, and you just see the end product of, what they do. Like no one really kind of pays attention to everything else that happens in between that, right? So you have people come up to you and they're like, "Hey, I want to do this," and I'm like, I'm really transparent. Like,
if someone comes up, that was gonna be my question.
Yeah, if someone comes up to me and says I want to compete, I'm like, I don't sit there and say yes. I'm like, cool. Let's sit and have a separate time where you're paying attention to just me. And I'm going to run you through all of the expectations that it takes to prep. Like I do that now in a consultation. I actually have a presentation, like a proper fucking PowerPoint that's recorded and shit. And I'm like, these are all the things you have to do. And this is how I prep people. Not everybody. This is how I do it. Because obviously, you can have 30 people on stage, or you can have 30 people at your gym prepping for whatever, holiday, etc. And they're all going to be different. It's all going to be done differently.
Do you send that out like before you sit down with them, just so they can make a decision?
I'll do the consultation first, just for like a relationship building kind of thing, and then after that, if they're in, I'm like, this is how I do it.
Cool.
So it's all like, you've got to train maybe upwards of 3 hours a day, like with everything. You're going to have to do cardio and weights sometimes. You're going to have to eat you're going to have to not eat when you feel like it. You're going to have to avoid social settings and manage things and bring your food everywhere. Like there's certain things that are just best practice. And I want to be able to control variables and make decisions because I'm hired to get you to the destination the best way possible. So I'm like, you need to conform to this method. I remember sending an application through to a coach I really respected, like probably one of the most influential people of my career. And he sent me through this application, and it was just like, you need to train at the same time every day. You need to get up and go to bed at the same time every day. You need to eat your meals at the same time every day. You need to do all of this shit. And I was just like, I'm not prepared to do that. And he's like, that's fine. He's like, I'm not the person for you. So I think
that's fair.
Yeah, and I fucking respect that.
Yeah.
That's a person who fucking knows, how to get the best out of themselves for someone. And I think it's hard when you're younger. You want to fucking, you want the business. You want to, especially if the client, you see the potential. But now you guys have seen it and had it. You want people to know exactly what they're in for, because they only see your photos, or you pre-Europe, or you when you're shredded, or your photo shoot photos, and then they go, I want that. It's like, well, that's cool that you want it, and I'm happy that you do, but let's have a really, really honest discussion of what it's going to take.
Like when we went to Melbourne to see you, like I was like, oh, we're gonna get dinner, and you were like, what? Don't know. We're walking 45 minutes to a restaurant that has macro-friendly dinner, so I can get dinner, and then we're walking back, and I was like,
I got my steps in as well.
This is the thing. I was like, this is fucked. At the time, I was like, I'm not prepared to do this, and then when it came around to it, I was like, it makes sense why he would have done it.
It's just what it takes.
Yeah, it depends on I think the goal, as well as like as I was gonna say, it's bodybuilding. I feel like is very glorified. It's like as you said, everyone just sees the end result, see people on stage, the tan, the shaved body looking glistening. It's like you don't understand what happened before that to get that.
It's not hard. The actual practice of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just repeatable.
It just infiltrates
It's a discipline. And
every
repetition.
fucking aspect of your life.
Yeah.
You like going out? Too bad.
And they're like, it's not even just bodybuilding, because like people are going to listen to this and be like, oh, I'm not a bodybuilder, so I'm just going to tune the fuck out. It's like, if you want to look better and you want to look exceptional, so it's just like you want to turn necks.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like get the double take. It's like,
Try to be us.
it has to infiltrate every fucking element of your life.
Yeah.
You make different decisions socially. You work everything around your training and your food. There's always that voice in the back of your head. You got to be prepared. You got to, always adjust and make things work for you. And if you're not prepared to do that, you're just going to be left really disappointed. Especially if you
think... That's the
think...
difference between looking good or looking exceptional.
Correct. Yeah. And it's the difference between being extremely disappointed and giving up on something that you had no idea what it took to do, and then actually persisting at something and getting results that keep you coming back irrespective of how you feel. Because like you said, he felt like shit. I've fucking crawled out of the car because I've been that fucking tired and just exhausted from training and work and everything when I was PTing and stuff. And it's just like, cool, fucking harden the fuck up, eat your meals, get up tomorrow, do it all again. And it's like, this is just what it takes.
Yeah, the check-ins with Jason was like, cool, you decided to do this. Like,
That's it. It's like, you're in the hole. You're in the hole that you decided to dig.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can be upset and you can be moody and whatever, but you can't take it out on anyone.
But
so you chose it.
The caveat to it as well is like, I enjoyed it. It's like I enjoy doing it. Like we all enjoy doing this. Otherwise, why the fuck would we do it? Like, it's not like I'm doing it. I'm like, I hate myself. It's like, no, like got to the end and I fucking loved it. It was so much fun, and I'm smiling talking about it now because I'd do it again.
Mm. The same goes with powerlifting. Like when when we did the lift off, like I was getting messaged by all these different PTs. How are these PBs happening every single week? But like you haven't seen them working for the last year.
Yeah.
Doing just boring fucking like volume work.
Yeah, it's following the system.
It's following the system. And then you see this fragment of 4 weeks where you're PBing every week. Yeah. You're like, what the fuck is happening? It's like, no, you've missed a whole year of where it's happened. Yeah. Like that's 4 weeks of glorified thing. The same things with bodybuilding. You see, you're on stage for 4 seconds and then that's it.
It's a symptom of ignorance.
Yeah.
And that's in general. Ignorance in the process, ignorance in knowledge. Most people think they're missing out on something and they just don't know, and it's like you're not, right? Yeah. It's like it's simple. You just got to show up, work hard, make sure it's repeatable.
Because you said it with Hormozy, like when he first came on the scene, like who was this creep with the mo?
Yeah.
You flick the switch 2 years later, and the guy's fucking telling us all how to be a billionaire. Like he was just nobody.
Yeah, well, like he, you listen to him now. It's like his first 50 episodes of the podcast for has 0 views. It's like now every fucking.
I feel that in my soul.
Yeah, I mean, same.
Yeah. Hey, we got 8. So
8 people.
Yeah,
that's
4 of my mum.
Beautiful.
on the YouTube.
Yeah, lovely.
Just let her playing.
Hey, world domination. We're taking over.
It's coming slowly.
But yeah, it's definitely one of those things. But how would you? So if talking to, we all train jump pop, right? Like just the average gym guy. Where do you differentiate the two, and what's needed for like? Is there a mid between good results and exceptional results? Like, At what point does
yeah.
someone have to flip the switch if they want to make
Yeah.
the difference?
Yeah. Ben and I debate on this a lot.
That was a good question.
It's a good
Well,
one.
I think about it, like
hot-
everyone likes to
hot
think that
question.
they're not beginner, right? And I'm not a fucking beginner. Like I know what I'm doing, but it's like everyone. You don't see a lot of people walking around looking absolutely amazing either.
I think you got to look at the success of the body of people that have what the people want, right? And it's like, okay, so let's now look at how they behave, right? How they train,
Yeah.
not like the program, because it's not that
It's
fucking
the learned
complicated. It's the behavior, right?
Yeah.
How many times do they show up in a week? If the wind blows the wrong direction, do they not go to the gym? Of course they do.
Yeah.
If they have family occasions on, they make it work. They just go early. You've got a busy day at work, they fucking train at 4 a.m., And it's like, do they forward think their nutrition? Do they always have a backup if things go wrong? Like, there's all of these little things that we call them high achievers, that they do. And the difference is the aggressiveness in the protocol, because the behavior is exactly the same. Like, I've got people who don't want to tan themselves up and get around on stage in their bathers, but they fucking operate exactly the same as anyone else who does do that. But it's just, I'm not turning their deficit down to like 50% for 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm not telling them that they can't have a meal with their family on a Saturday night. It's like, okay, cool. So the parameters are different, but the behaviors are exactly the same, and that is a symptom of the success of the group that have what someone wants.
Yeah. So you're trying to look at and kind of implement or copy the behaviors that someone who's doing what you want to be, or if I said that right, you have to do what they're doing.
It's be to have.
Yeah.
So it's like, who has what I want? What do they do? So I have to be that person. How do they live? So you're reverse engineering it back from that future self, future self of you, right? But the future self of you is hard to think about, especially if you've never been there and you don't know anybody. But it's like, then you've never been there yourself, so you can't use it because you don't have the stack of proof. So then you go, well, what does this person do? Like, how does this, not what do they do in their program, how do they operate as a human?
Yeah.
What does their day look like? Yeah, what does their day look like? What do they think like? What do they act like? What happens when there's, trialing times in their days and lives? Like, what happens when things go really well? Like, all of those things will allow you to embody a particular individual that is going to accelerate the ability to get what you want.
What do you think develops that?
Awareness.
Just awareness of self?
Awareness of the process, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you sit down with someone now, like most people, again, it comes back to like they don't know what it takes, and we have to teach them. We have to tell them, we have to coach them along the way, we have to guide them. We can't sit there and just say, oh yeah, well you chose to do this, so you suffer and fucking deal with it. Like I have to say to him like, hey man, like, we're deep in the hole, like this is what's gonna happen next, like this is why, like, etc. And once you get to the other side, it's like, oh, okay, cool, I understand that. The next time, it's just on a totally different level. It's a totally different intensity, but he's aware. So you've got to have that, that continuous coaching process of the awareness, but people need to understand what they're getting themselves into as well at the same time.
Yeah, I think more so the question is like, it's like where, like how do those people come about? Like I always debate this with myself. It's like why am I deciding that I want to, get shredded and put myself through all this pain for essentially nothing? Like why that's what I don't know. It's always weird. Like all the life experience that you have, does that lead up to you just wanting to be insanely disciplined? And
I think it's who you become through it though. Like it's like you come out different on the other side.
Yeah, no, but how? Like, what made me make that decision? Like that's the thing I was. And
as in what led you to want to do?
Yeah,
that?
like some of my clients, they've got this woman who's runs ultra marathons and she wants to do bodybuilding now. And I've asked her like, why did you want to do this? Like, because it's an important question to ask. And she was like, I just really enjoy pushing myself into things.
It's just challenge, right?
Things that I've never done before, and it's hard.
As you said, high achievers. Like we're all high achievers. We all want to challenge ourselves. We all want to push ourselves.
Yeah.
Just in what way do we want to do it? Whether it's through an ultra marathon or a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
But I mean, because we're a very, very small part of the percentage of the population that does it. We like to think that there's heaps of us and we're in competition with so many.
Not.
There's fucking
some people think
one.
we're fucking weird.
Yeah.
People are like,
if you want
allies more than anything.
a massive reality check is Europe. People
bro.
don't train. It's like you have muscles and they're like, the fuck. what are you doing? You've eaten 5 times today. Wouldn't eat 2 times and call it a day. A couple cigarettes. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, if a good reality check is just go to Europe, and you'll see that if you think you're average,
any excuse to go to Europe.
So I am big. Cool. I made
It's for
it.
research.
Yeah, that's it.
the problem is when I go there, I end up like that. I can't. It's too good.
Yes, mate, you don't eat those calories, the weight just falls off you. But yeah, going back to what you're saying, it's a symptom of values again. So that's the people that are and behave and act that way. It's like growth, success, whatever else you want to kind of put an identity on it. They would have those things in like the top 5.
Yeah.
So it's like that person, as soon as they stop doing that, they start feeling unfulfilled. Their life starts to have no meaning. They start to have, there's that hole that's, they just don't know what it is. And it's like, you're not pushing yourself, which is what you value as a person.
Yeah.
So again, like, not everyone has to do that. Like, people don't have to come on this podcast, like listen to this podcast and be like, oh fuck, I've got to, I'm a piece of shit. Like I don't push myself. I don't have this mentality that these people have and I'm not going to be successful and blah, 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 blah. It's like, you need to understand, you need that awareness of what is it that you actually fucking care about. What makes you, what puts that fire in your belly, and what keeps your heart full, right? What did your dad say? The head, the heart, and the gut, right? You could use that analogy here. It's like, what are the things that fill you up in those areas? So once you know those, what do you like to do? We like to lift fucking heavy shit and put it down.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure that those things that keep my head, heart, and gut full match the hobbies that I like to do. And they're going to facilitate the goals that I have. And the goals are the micro things that we can measure and plan and prepare, not avoid, and ensure that we get there. And a lot of people probably see the end product of something and go, that looks good for the second I'm looking at it. I'm going to try it. And as soon as the first obstacle comes, there's friction, there's not enough of a compelling reason to push through that wall. So they just jump at the first obstacle, the first hurdle. Where for us, if the obstacle comes, what do I need to do to put my fucking head through that brick wall? Right? Because if I stop here, life becomes less meaningful, less fulfilling, less, whatever. So without it being all fucking woo-woo and stuff, it's like you really kind of need to know what it is as a person, like you want to stand up for and want to live by. And
what do you do?
You're correct, And some of it can be represented through work, some of it can be represented through your hobbies and your connections with people and whatever. But if you don't know what that is and you kind of feel like something's missing, it's like that's the first place that you need to go.
Like on that, do you guys believe in fate? Like it's all like preconceived?
I think you can alter I personally think you can alter your path. Because
I agree.
Because the reason why is because my childhood was not on a good path. I was rubbing shoulders with some bad people. And it's like, if we go now and see what they're doing, like some of them aren't alive, some of them aren't allowed out in civilization anymore. And then some people are just like living a really, really hard life. And then some of us made it, some of us got out. So there needs to be, in my opinion, a moment where you have that conversation with yourself and be like, something's got to change. But I think, like we said the other day, most people go, it's too hard to change, irrespective of how sad and awful it is. So I'm just going to learn to endure. And people do that in jobs, they do that with relationships. And it's like, really, you've got to do an immediate or acute period of discomfort to broaden horizons that people never knew existed.
Yeah, because I just find it weird sometimes, like, the way that I got into PT was I was an apprentice plumber. We went to this sheet metal place. The guy's son was a bodybuilder. He had photos up in the thing. I quit the next week so I could afford to be coached by him. Then I got my PT and just continued to train all the way through it, competed. And then ships pretty much in the night, met Jackson at the
7-0
thing. Now we're close friends. It's fucked.
You definitely,
when you break it down, sometimes you're
I
like,
agree.
it feels fucking weird.
Well, when you tell the story, 100%.
Yeah.
Like there's so many, because it's like, But that's fucking life too, man. It's
Yeah.
like a flip of a coin, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's like a
One
fucking book.
decision,
It's like pick
and
this
you-
page or pick this
We've known
page.
each other since we were 15 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't think that the first time
Yeah.
I'd meet you, I'd be business.
Did you know
partners.
that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. I love it. I love the story.
Yeah, it's like
good.
even me with the life I had. It's just like like you. I think you create their own path. I think what the pain or the suffering looks like is different for everyone. As you said, it could be expressed through a job, through a hard childhood, but it's like, yeah, you got to have that conversation. Because like I went to fucking Thailand when I was 18 years old and just moved there because I felt like it, because I thought that was my calling, and then I ended up here.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, how the fuck did that happen? Like,
How much just moved to Sydney? Just flip it upside down. Just
Easy.
never come
yeah,
back.
why not?
I've got a queen bed for you, but there's a guy in it at the moment.
Huge guy.
Yeah. There's a bit of real estate in there. I don't know if I like the two of us.
Smell like-
Put
I
two
smell
queens
like-
next to each other.
That mattress will never be the same again if we both slept
I
in
smell
it.
like whiskey and stogies. It's an alcoholic living in my house.
All right, that's an hour. I think it's time to train, and will they kick us out?
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
So yeah, if you have any more questions for Jason, where can we find you?
So you can find myself personally at on Instagram at Jason Galea _STC. You can obviously find my business at STCfit. If you're a personal trainer, you can find another business page at STClearn, www.stcfit.com. Also on YouTube, same thing, STCfit. So yeah, jump over, ask me a question, give me some feedback.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Go
you-
coach. And then you, big boy.
Coach, I think Coach Dot.
Yeah.
Adrian Brown on
There
Instagram.
is a dot there.
Grounded Strength. Type in Grounded Strength into the web browser thing that you have. And
Microsoft Edge.
we appear.
Microsoft
Yeah. And again, yeah, if you want to get massive, let's go.
Two of the best companies in Melbourne.
That's it.
That's it.
Husband
Well,
and wife team. We're not husband and wife. We could be.
You could be.
Maybe after this
No,
trip,
we're brothers.
after this trip we might be.
Rocking up both in white shorts and black pants last
Yeah,
night.
we literally like had the big Uniqlo oversized tees on, the same one, and then his dad's just like ripping into it. He's like, "What is this? What is this?"
So if you,
Sit next to your brother.
yeah, if you want to come to Sydney and get a ripping from my dad, be my guest. That's also I do coaching, and also I offer that as a service.
Mentality coaching.
All right, thank you very much. Until next week.
See you then.
See you then.
Thank you guys.
Ciao.